So, to be rational, you need free markets. To be productive, at your full capacity, you need free markets. And of course, to trade, to share values, to exchange values, you need free markets. So free markets, in my view, are a consequence of an ethic of self-interest. They are the outcome of believing that individuals have a right to their own life. That individuals should be free to pursue their right, to pursue their happiness in their own way. That's what makes capitalism a just system, a right system, a moral system. And yes, by the way, it also works. It also produces the wealth. The other systems, all the variations of statism, state control over economic policy, all are built on the assumption that individuals can't be rational for themselves. So somebody has to tell them what they should do, what they should think. They can't be trusted to produce because they'll produce bad things. They can't be trusted to trade because some people will exploit other people. All of the status systems assume that we are not capable of achieving our own self-interest. Or that achieving our own self-interest is immoral, is wrong, is offensive. So when we talk about my book is titled Free Market Revolution. The revolution we talk about is not in economics. It's in morality. What we're asking people to do is rethink what they view as good, what they view as right, what they view as noble. To get away from this idea that what's good and right and noble is how you treat other people. You should treat other people nicely, you should treat other people well. But the real focus in our view should be a morality that thinks of how do I live my life? How do I make the most of my life? How do I achieve my happiness? And if we can change people's way of thinking about morality, then I think economics takes care of itself. Then I think we get a capitalist world. And again, it's not easy to fix the growth problems in the West. Not easy at all. You can do it in a couple of months. Cut government spending, cut regulations, cut taxes, and the economy will take off. Every time it's tried in history, it works every single time. The reason it's not tried is because we don't want that freedom. So, I'm hopeful that we can slowly bring about a revolution in the way people think about morality. And as a consequence, we, particularly you, who are much younger than me, will benefit from a thriving, growing, wealth-creating economic system in the future. Thank you all. Thanks. I think we'll take questions. And let's do it this way. If you can ask in English, that's great. If you ask in Chinese, will somebody translate? Yeah, we'll have somebody translate. Yeah.
So thank you, Professor Brook. And I have a question. I think the people you are talking about is of very high morality. But actually, I think in real life there will be some people who treat others to gain their own profit. For example, in China, recently there are some people who selling drugs to help people cut diet. But actually it's bad for their health. But they make millions of money from it. So I think we cannot ignore those people, and because of them, do you think it's really sufficient for the free market to exist and without any regulations? Thank you.
So that's a good question. So I don't think it's enough to have a free market. What you need is a government. And the government's job is to protect you from crooks, from criminals. But that doesn't require regulation. That doesn't require the government to say this pill has to have this and this and this and this in it. All it needs to require the government to say is, you can't sell something, A, and lie about it. That's called fraud. It's always been called fraud, right? Fraud has always been illegal. You don't need new regulations to make fraud illegal. You can't physically hurt other people. That's wrong. Laws have always existed to prevent that. So what you need is a legal system that protects us from other people who try to use force on us or fraud on us. But that's it. And that's this amount. Regulations are this amount. You don't need a government to tell you how much interest to charge in the bank. Now, I might make a mistake. I might take a loan and the interest too high. But we all make mistakes. Government is not there to protect us from mistakes. In contrary, mistakes are good if you learn from them. If you learn from them. If you don't learn from them, bad for you. But again, not my problem. Your problem. So I believe in a strong government. Government that does three things. It catches crooks, frauds, murderers, thieves, people like that. It has a judicial system, courts, to arbitrate disputes. So if you do something to me, I can sue you and figure out who's right and who's wrong. We need a court system. And we need a military because other people might threaten us from outside. And we need to be able to stop them and not let them do that. So the purpose of government is to protect the lives and property of their citizens. Not to take their property. Not to tell them how to live. Not to control their lives. But to protect them from real bad guys, from real threats. It was